Imagine for a second that there was a great white shark who was trying to run in a marathon race. And he knew inside that he had this potential to be amazing and to be a superstar, yet he couldn't even make it past the starting line. What advice would you offer to this great white shark? Evan.
Not to join a running race, to join a swimming race.
You tell him to go in the water, because that's where he can be himself. That's where he can show the world just how great he is. Now, there's a number of reasons why we prevent ourselves from making it into the water to ultimately show everybody who we are and what we're made of. I want to focus on two of them. Reason number one is our ego, right? It's this idea that we feel very highly of ourselves, and it's a very logical progression, right? I know me, and I like me, so therefore anything that I do, anything that I know is good, and it's great. And the second reason is we have this fear of trusting other people. Also, very good logical explanation as to why. If you go back in time to the forming of the human species, right? Survival of the fittest. We were programmed not to trust. There were all these dangerous animals out there trying to eat me and kill me. There were other humans who were trying to steal whatever food was available for the population at large, and I couldn't trust anybody in order to survive. But it seems like these two things are inevitably going to continuously to hold us back unless we can break the chain, unless we can do something that's not normal, that's not obvious, that nobody even thinks to do. Julian Edelman is known by all as a receiver on the New England Patriots. Very few people actually know where Julian Edelman actually started and at what position he started at. Julian Edelman went to Kent State University and he started off as a quarterback. I want to just share how good this guy was as a quarterback. He took a program that was 1-10, and the year he took over, they went to be 6-6. He broke the single season scoring record in school history. He was pretty good. But then came the NFL Combine, and unfortunately Julian Edelman did not receive a phone call to be invited to participate. There was already strike one. Then he was drafted by the New England Patriots. They took a flyer on the kid. They said, we don't know what we can do with him, but we're going to take a chance. But we know for certain it's not going to be our quarterback. We have quarterback on lockdown, right? Tom Brady, he's here, he's good, we're okay. But we're going to take a flyer at receiver. Now, Julian Edelman had an option, right? Going back to reason number one why we can't break through the mold. He had his ego to either check at the door or let overcome him. I'm a quarterback. I've succeeded at one of the highest levels that very few people have actually been able to do. I'm pretty good. You're going to tell me that I'm not good? Who do you think you are? Right, so that was option number one. Or option number two was, you know what? Even though I don't agree with it, I'm going to fight through it and I'm going to prove to anybody and everybody that I'll belong no matter what. And so Julian Edelman does the unthinkable. He comes into practice and he learns from great receivers. Randy Moss, Wes Welker, the offensive coordinator at the time, quoted as saying, this kid is a sponge that just wants to learn. He wants to get better. And we all know the way history works itself out. Last year in the Super Bowl, comes up with one of the greatest catches in Super Bowl history, helping his team make a tremendous comeback, winning that game. But my question to you is, did Julian Edelman know at the time that if he made this change to receiver, it would ultimately lead him to greatness, to a Super Bowl victory, to being somebody that everybody talked about for making one of the greatest catches of all time. No, but he trusted the process. Because, boys, this is what it comes down to. If you think you have it all figured out, if you think that you know where destiny is going to take you, you're gravely mistaken. And so it leads me to the second of our two issues, right? And that is, who could we trust to get us from point A to point B? Well, let's just look around right now, right? You have teachers, you have parents, you have your classmates. Now, we can't focus on everybody for right now. Too many to tackle, we will get to everybody. But I want to just push aside the parents and the teachers because they're the most obvious to take away, right? Parents and teachers are adults, your kids, you're more far removed from they are. They're busy, doing grown-up stuff. We're busy taking selfies and saying LOL to each other, right? So I get it. I get why we're not going to address parents and teachers, but let's just focus on our friends and our classmates. Boys, we have a unique opportunity to use each other for help and to utilize one another, that when I can't do something, you could be there for me, and when you can't do something, I could be there for you. But there's one very big reason, in my opinion, what gets in the way of that, and that is we are constantly comparing ourselves to one another, right? What did you get on your test? What sports team did you make? Who are your friends? And where are you going on winter vacation? Right? There's all this constant comparison. And so therefore, when it comes time for help, when it comes time for me to give you something that makes you better, why on earth would I do it? Because in the grand scheme of things, we're going to compare ourselves to each other in a month from now, and I'm going to be a part in helping you, ultimately making me look bad? What kind of a thing is that? Why would I do such a thing? And let me tell you why. Because when you compare, when you look at statistics, when you look at what we know, you can throw it in the garbage. Because it will not take you to where you need to go. It will not turn you from a shark in a running marathon to a shark in the water. Before Game 7 of the Yankees Houston Astros game, John Smoltz was holding a bunch of papers in his hand. I don't know if anybody saw this. And he said, there's all these statistics that are going to help to show us who's going to win this game. You know what you could do with these papers? You can throw them in the garbage, because nothing that's on paper, nothing that we know, can help determine the outcome of this game. Because if you looked at the statistics and if you looked at the comparisons, the Yankees should have won. Right? CC Sabathia, coming off of a loss, had an absurd record. He was like 10-0 or 10-1. Charlie Morton, the starter for the Astros, was pitching with a +5 ERA. He was giving up over 5 runs every outing. But you know what statistics didn't take into account? You know what you couldn't find on the paper? The determination that a teammate like George Springer, racing into center field to dive for a Todd Frazier home run ball. That didn't show up in the statistics. You know what else didn't show up in the statistics? Alex Bregman at third base, risking his own reputation. You know how foolish he would have looked if he made the wrong decision and the Yankees end up scoring that run at home plate? But you know what they all said to each other? They said, I have your back because I know you have mine. And if we can all do this for one another, we can all move upwards together. So boys, here's the deal. You all have different skill sets. You all have something different to bring to the table. The question becomes, can we strip away these comparisons? Can we take away this jealousy factor and utilize one another for help? Right? Can I teach you how to dance, and can you teach me how to solve in a Rubik's Cube? Can you teach me how to cook, and can I teach you how to throw a football? Because we have no idea what destiny will call for us. We have no idea. When we'll finally be able to say, I'm a great white shark and I'm here, I'm in the water. Because for all intents and purposes, right now you're on land, you're trying to run a race, and you can't move because you're a shark. And you have all this potential in the world, and it's not being used. So who in this room is going to say to themselves, these comparisons are silly, because at the end of the day, they just ultimately end up holding me back. Because if I have something to offer and you have something to offer, why can't we help each other out? So who wants to be a shark? Who wants to finally take that dive into the water to show the rest of the world how amazing we are? Because being on land and being a shark doesn't seem so great. Let's all get at it together. Thank you.